Hey, what's going on, people? Hopefully, everybody's having an awesome Sunday. You had a fabulous weekend and you stayed safe, you and yours. Hopefully, the audio and visuals are looking good. Lizzie B just dropped the big one. Okay, thank you so much. Rosamond Harris, appreciate you. All right, I think we might be a little light. How many people do we have in here? Um, Doesn't even show. Oh, 16. Okay. I was like, it doesn't even show up. But thank you guys so much. Wendy's front yard in the house. Okay. I guess this might be a little intimate. Usually started doing it at 6 o'clock. I wanted to be able to get it in tonight. I have a hard out at 8. So I at least wanted to give shoot for 2 hours. So if it's shorter, but I wanted to do that. Good afternoon, Carmel Cuties. What's going on? Um, yeah, so we'll give folks a little time to get in and do their thing. I don't know if you guys caught last week. I did a little bit with the whole Robin thing, which I might actually cut down and put it out as a video. But that whole thing with Robin, you know, and how she may have very well came to be in the position she was in the family, I thought was particularly interesting, especially as we move into the next season. This particular live stream that I wanted to do, I wanted to talk about. Oh, hey, from Ireland, CN37876. Hey, what's going on? From across the pond. Thank you. Uh this particular show, I want to talk about TLC, but just to kind of rebrush what I talked about last week, like I think that there's so many things to look forward to potentially with the Sister Wives franchise, but the way they're doing it and the way they're going about doing it, like I'm not sure. Like I know we've kind of, when it came time for something serious, we'll start there. When it came time for something serious, it was just jacked up. You know what I mean? Like when it was time for Big G's and his remembrance and everything else. I know I was very nervous about how TLC was actually going to address that issue and how they were going to approach it. I was very nervous because I was sitting there thinking to myself, if they mess this up, I can't cover them no more. You know what I mean? Like if they mess this up, if TLC shits the bed on this, I can't talk about Sister Wives anymore if they disrespect this young man, you know. And so I'm not even gonna trip. Yeah, Tiana, there is another season coming. They're gonna keep riding this thing until somebody declare bankruptcy. This is all they got. You look at uh Cody and Robin and the situation that they find themselves in. It's precarious, man. It's precarious. Uh yeah, and Nicole Aggie said 8 to 10 minutes of new stuff. The rest of it all recaps. Has gotten Cody tired of working for TLC. He can't retire. He will have to get a 9 to 5. I don't even know if he could do a 9 to 5 because he favors himself as a salesman, and that's not a 9 to 5 job. If you try to sell anything, that's not a 9 to 5 job. The funny thing is, like I think it shows like his level of commitment to a point because when they first moved out to Vegas, if you recall, both Christine and Janelle went for their real estate licenses. Both those ladies are licensed real estate agents, although Janelle was the only one who actually worked using her license. But both of them studied and took the test. But if you recall, it was actually supposed to be Janelle, Christine, and Cody who were all going to be this force to be reckoned with. This power couple, this power family who was going to do real estate throughout Las Vegas and take Vegas by storm, Nevada by storm. But as it turned out, when it came time for him to actually take a test and sit down and have to study for that test, Homeboy was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I guess he was sitting there saying, I could be making $200 an hour. Why would I sit and study for a test? So yeah. But the whole thing is that we'll talk about kind of where they are, like in my assessment. So this will talk about Sister Wives, even though I did say TLC. And initially I was going to put like some of the other shows on it because I think it's throughout I think it goes like the problem that I have with TLC currently isn't just Sister Wives. It goes throughout all the shows that they have, right? And just out of respect for time, like I'll give maybe 3 more minutes. And we'll go over the whole TLC thing. And matter of fact, let me give myself a little note because I want to talk about the TLC and where I am with them in the decline of that show and where they are, as well as get a new one, as well as the kind of how they're doing their other shows, their other programming, and what I think it'll lead to. So, uh, let's see. And what is it? Sister Wives? Yeah. All right. So, before I go too far, I have to look up because there's a thing where we can have like for the community, for our community on YouTube, they have a space where we could uh post messages in that community, and I'm going to set that up so that you guys will be able to exchange messages even if we're not doing lives or whatever, what have you. um so there's that. But I think we can let's kick this, let's light the fires and kick the tires, and folks will catch up. But what it comes down to is simply this, folks. TLC and where we are with TLC. I'm gonna take a sip of my power drink, water. That's what it is. This is water. I wish it was something stronger. Could you imagine if I was sitting there drinking like adult beverages out of this mug? This live will be like 10 minutes before it fell into depravity. But here's my thing with TLC, right? When I think about TLC in the direction of the show, it started out, it was called the Learning Channel. And when they introduced the Sister Wives, it was supposed to be an alternative lifestyle that they're introducing to mainstream America so that we can learn about different cultures and how they do their marital experience, their matrimony and all that, their matrimonial lives. What we have now is something different. You know, whether it's Sister Wives, 90 Day Fiance, which started out, it was supposed to be a show which detailed people who were from different countries coming into America, applying for the K1 visa, trying to get that. And their struggles in having and maintaining those relationships and the importance of being able to achieve that citizenship status. That was, so that they can continue their lives together. That was interesting. What is turned into now? Kathy Ferran in the house. What's going on? What it's turned into now? It's turned into a situation where everything is over sensationalized. Every storyline is overdone. You know, it's not just the fact that it's pushing the boundaries of believability, but it's also pushing, for me, it's pushing the boundaries of decency. Because like, and if you know me, I am not a prudish guy. Like, I am not shy. Okay. I'm not that guy. But it's just like things that they put on, there's times and places for everything, right? And when I'm watching these shows, 90 Day Fiance, Hunt for Love, 90 Day Fiance, Hunt for Love, you know, all of these shows that they have are just basically revenue streams. And I think that that's how TLC is approaching it. This is the beauty of capitalism, I guess. Like at the end of the day, they're always trying to figure a way to squeeze another dollar out of this particular program. So when they, instead of them going out getting people to cast onto these shows, they're finding people who will cast to these shows so that they can grow their social media presence so that they can make money. And they'll do whatever they need to do to, one, have a storyline, and then two, so that that storyline is memorable. So you have uh people who are willing to do the most ridiculous things. And this, like, even with the show Hunt for Love, I see Wendy's a fan. Just kidding, Wendy. But it's a shit show. When you talk about Hunt for Love, like I did a episode on that, or a video on that, and I was going to do additional videos, but what I noticed is that they're talking about pretty much the same thing. One, same issues. Two, people's responses on that show aren't natural responses. As a for instance, currently I'm almost caught up. I think I'm on like episode 6 or 7 episodes. They have a young man named Rob. He hooked up with a girl on the first night. Yachty. I call her Yachty because she was a yacht model. In Miami. You know what that means. You know what I mean? Hey, she a model like I'm a model. You know what I mean? Like, but she's a yacht model. And does she come with the boat? Then you have they hook up on the first night, and she gets all crazy and like, oh, you're my boyfriend now, and I want to find out where our love affair is going. No, what are you talking about? We just hooked up one night. We didn't even hook up. We just kissed and stuff. Then heavy petting. Then then he hooks up with another girl, and then all of a sudden everybody's asking him who he's sleeping with, and did they sleep together? You got to tell us whether you slept together. And that's bad enough, and it's messy enough, right? Because the normal response for those kind of questions, none of your damn business. Back the hell up. It's none of your business. I don't care what I'm doing and who I'm doing it with. It's just between me and them. We consenting adults. We do what we do. And if this is an adult retreat, guess what's happening? We doing adult shit. So get over it. If you can't get over it, too bad. Oh, well, the one guy who liked her, he called dibs on her, which is like a kid. That's not even high school. That's like grade school. That's not even middle school. It's grade school. I call dibs on her. You can't call dibs on another human being. You know why? Because they have a damn say. So we go through all that, and that's bad enough. But what makes it worse is that this young lady, I don't know whether they're aware or not, whether they were told or not, but they have cameras that are set up in the rooms, and you can see their beds. And you see this young lady, Jen, she hooks up with the guy, Rob. And they, like, the thing that bothers me with TLC, look, if I want to watch adult content, I'm a grown ass man, doc. I can watch adult content. There's websites and crap you can go to. I don't have to play the game of 90 Day Fiance if I want to watch a smoker. Okay. I'm an adult. But what TLC does is they leave the damn camera go too long on these folks hooking up. And then they have like, it's at the point now where they'll have them like slow kissing and dry humping on the bed with their drawers on. They strip them all down to their drawers. And then they blur them out because they're naked now and they're still doing stuff. So I'm watching, basically, when you watch some of these shows on TLC, you're watching soft porn. And it comes to a point where the learning network, what are we learning? I mean, what are we learning? Okay, fine. I understand it. We're supposed to see like different people's experiences and what they're going through, but I don't need to know how they swing that thing. I don't need to know how she backing it up. I don't need to know that. Right? It's none of my business. Like, I don't be that deep in that stuff. It's bad enough they put their stuff on TV, but you don't have to, you know, Kathy Friends that we learn in biology. Yeah, that's one way to say it. Uh, you know, we don't have to see it. And they consistently do that. And then everything is like they'll use terms that are like extremely vulgar or whatever. And I said this before. Like I was never one to watch reality shows. And what got me into watching reality shows is that I would come through. I told the story a million times. I would be walking through my living room or whatever, and my wife and my daughter would be watching the shows, and I would make commentary, like especially the dating shows. Like I would use those shows, and this is what I was talking about last week: the importance of you talking to your kids and giving them game, like hipping them to what's happening, making them aware of what's going on. So I would use the reality shows and the situations on the reality shows because they're already interested in it. She was already interested in watching it. So I would use the reality shows to talk to her and say, you see what that dude did right there? Let me explain to you what he's doing, why he's doing it that way, why she's treating them that way. This is why you don't let people treat you like this. This is why you don't accept the fact that this is what's going on. There is a point too where I completely accept everybody's, decisions to be able to conduct themselves how they want to conduct themselves. You want to go home with a person the first day you meet them, that's your business. You're an adult. You do what you want to do. Only adult, consensual, right? You got to know what's going on for it to be consensual and adult so that you can make those decisions, right? You had a capacity. Cool. But there's the other step to it. You can say all we want that just because I go home with somebody, that doesn't make me anything. You're right. You're absolutely right. But at the same time, your conduct can inform the person that you're going home with what they can expect. So if they go home with you on that first day, you just because this is important to you doesn't necessarily mean it's important to me. Just because this means something to you doesn't mean it means something to me. And because we don't really know each other, you don't know the difference from me. So it's kind of on like this is where it falls on you to be responsible for yourself and your decision. And that's the kind of conversations I would have with my daughter. But when I watch this show, holy smokes, like that's not what we're seeing. And then it just doesn't stop with like Hunt for Love. It goes on to like some of the other show selections that TLC has, right? Because as I started getting into the reality shows and I started commenting on them, I started branching out and I tried to watch the first season of MILF Manor. I couldn't get through the whole season. I think my wife watched the rest of it. I think I was on like 5 or 6 episodes and I was like, this is too much for me. Right. Again, I'm not a prudish guy, but I draw the line at incest. Like I'm not hip to the fact that you have older women and their sons, and these older women are supposed to be dating their sons, right? And it's not that not direct like these older women are dating their sons, but it's situations like you blindfold the women, then you take the son's shirts off, like all the guys' shirts off, and you have them stand there in front of the women, and the women will go up and feel the guys up, like rub all over their chest and their bodies and stuff to try to figure out which one is their son. It's too much. Like they had another one that like they were supposed to be like eating watermelons out of their mom's crotches and stuff. Like, nah, blindfolded, you don't know who your mom is. Like that shit is nasty. Like, you know what I mean? And I said that this, and the problem I have with it is just the simple common decency of it. Because, and if you just put it through one filter, you make one change to that scenario that I just described that TLC is doing, right? You make one change. Instead of it being moms, older moms, milfy moms who are, there with their sons and doing this kind of activity, make it creepy ass dudes and their daughters. Make it creepy ass dads and their daughters. That shit would have been, not only would have been canceled, people would have been fired off their jobs. People would have, they'd be looking at them to arrest folks. Like it would have been a scandal, right? And why is it disgusting when it's that way, but it's nobody thinks twice about it? And I'll tell you the short answer, in my opinion, I think the very short answer is that at the end of the day, the producers and the folks at TLC have demonstrated that they don't respect women. That's what it is. Like, to me, that's what it says. It's just like when they had Hunt for Love, like the last episode, one of the last episodes I watched. They had two young ladies. They were like, we're gonna do teams and we're gonna like bust some balloons and then we're gonna pour water over our head. And the final challenge to win the game. You have three teams, and it's like guys and girls on each team. They say the final challenge to win this team for the dating extravaganza for Hunt for Love is we're gonna have a kissing contest. Who kisses who the best? So they have two girls go over and grab each other's hands and be like, we gonna kiss each other. And then the other team says, we gonna kiss each other. So they get two, like basically four women out there and they're hooking up and kissing and stuff. And they literally have the guys pulling up seats in front of the women while they're kissing, talking about, oh yeah, this is a good show. I'm enjoying this. Like it was, and then you have like, there's a guy on the show, one of the girls who was kissing. There's two guys on the show who are damn near coming to blows because they're trying to get to this woman and they're so insulted, like, oh, she better not pick him to go out there and kiss because it'll be disgusting. They do it in front of me. It's disrespectful. But if you're a human being, like I'm an open-minded guy and I respect people's relationships, not just heterosexual, but homosexual as well. And like, whatever orientation you are, I respect your relationship. You respect your relationship and present it as a committed relationship. I respect your relationship. So if I'm trying to be with, like, if I'm there with my wife, I don't give a shit if it's a man or a woman or whatever. I don't care. I don't care. It's the same level of disrespect and cheating because I respect all that stuff. Oh, it's okay because it's two girls. It's fine. I'm gonna let it slide. No, bump that. That's not cute. Not if I'm trying to date you and I'm trying to figure out whether I want to have a relationship with you. That shit is not cute. That is not okay. Right. And then TLC pushes those kind of boundaries and they have this facade that they are accepting, that they're open-minded, that they take in all groups, and of course you have like the alternative lifestyles or people who are in protected groups like the transgender folks, or you'll have the gay folks or whatever, and they're on the show. And while they're doing stuff, everybody is defending them and talking about how great they are and wonderful they are and they're allies and all that. But see, the funny thing is that when we're with all these allies, when they're disrespecting them, when they're disrespecting the group, that shit is not like, it just blew my mind. And that's just one show. We talked about like MILF Manor, the ridiculousness of that show. Like I said, bringing your kids on. If I'm on that show and I'm trying to like, oh, I'm here to meet some ladies. Oh. And they be like, oh, we got some young ladies. Like, okay. I mean, that's a little weird, but okay. Got some young girls. I mean, it is what it is. I'll be friendly. I'll be cordial. And then I see my daughter there. All right. And then you had these other old ass dudes talking about, look at that one over there. Let's get the hell out of here. Cause y'all got me twisted. Y'all done got it. Y'all got me messed up. y'all don't know who you thought I was, but I'm not him, Slim. So me and my daughter gonna roll up out of here before I catch a damn case messing with y'all. I'm out. I would be out. Like, that's not even a thing. It's bad enough I'm there this is where I'm at. It's bad enough if I'm there at my age trying to pick up 20-year-olds. That's bad enough. I mean, I'm already pushing boundaries, right? The ridiculousness, right? That's bad enough. But then on top of that, my daughter is amongst them, and I got to stand there. And even if there's some way, somehow that I'm not actually interacting with my daughter in an inappropriate way, I have to stand there and watch these other men do it for entertainment. Oh, hell no. Hell no. And it's stuff like that. Then we get in the other shows they had, like the Poly Family. I didn't even put my last video out because I kept getting stuck. trying to do that video because I tried to make it light, but the reality of it is the reason why Polyfamily only went 6 episodes, TLC, this is my suspicion, is because of the allegations that one of the Polyfamily participants was messing around with some of his kids. Like, because apparently he had kids, he was married twice before, and both of his ex-wives have protective orders against him, which prevents him from having any contact with his children or children in general because of the inappropriate nature of the relationships that they had. And this is what was being passed around on social media. Never denied, nothing. Nothing ever came of, oh, we're going to sue, but nothing ever came of no lawsuits. I never saw any paperwork filed. And you could bet your hairy ass that if you accuse me of something like that, paperwork would be filed. Paperwork, you would have some paper. You would have some paper. Because there's no way in the world I'm going to stand on that and let that ride. There's no way in hell. So you have those, like that show. And they canceled that show, and that was ridiculous. Oh, we're going to show you a different lifestyle, but not really, because we just picked the bad and worst examples. And of all those shows, like MILF Manor, 90 Day, and then 90 Day, let's talk a little bit about 90 Day, and then we'll get into Sister Wives. 90 Day Fiancé. You have 90 Day Fiancé. They come out. They basically started out, we would follow a group of couples. They would do their thing for the season. Then we would move on and get a whole new batch of couples. We'd follow those people. And what TLC noticed somewhere down the line is that some of these couples are very popular. And people like these couples. And whether they stay together or they break up, they just kept bringing them back. And that's why you have so many iterations of 90 Day Fiancé. You have before the 90 days, you have 90 Day Fiancé, you have Happily Ever After, which is after the 90 days. You got 90 Days the other way. You have 90 Days Caribbean or something like that, right? Where it's just like there's seasons of 90 Day I haven't even seen. Right. And then you catch up with them. And then half the time, most of the people who are 90 Day now, they can't even keep their story straight as to things that they want to do and things that they've done. Actually, me and my wife, we did a video talking about Libby, one of the characters from 90 Day. And we talked about like the ridiculousness of that situation. And what we do is we'll talk about it, kind of what the theme of the channel is. We'll talk about it from the respect of things that we see on screen. But a lot of what they did on screen was just crazy. Pillow talk. They have the after show thing. So you watch an episode, like even Hunt for Love. You watch an episode of Hunt for Love, Last Resort. That's another one with the damn dumbass doctors that they have. But you'll watch the episode, and then they'll have an episode after that where you can watch the people from the show watch the episode and talk about the episode. So I'm going to watch an episode, and I'm going to listen to you talk about the episode that I just watched. Like, what the shit? And that's what they're doing. So it's all a quest for money as far as I'm concerned. Love in Paradise. That's another one. Thank you so much, Alexander Pia. So you have a lot of this stuff. And what the problem that I have is that even when we talk about coming into Sister Wives, right? Sister Wives, this isn't the environment that Sister Wives was born from. This is a totally different network. 90 Day Fiancé, or Sister Wives or TLC early on versus how TLC is now. Sister Wives wouldn't have made 3 shows. They would have made 3 episodes because they don't do enough. They flat out don't do enough. So where they are now, here's what I would say. I know the show is sputtering along, right? I know the show is sputtering along. It's struggling. This show is going to be struggling. It's hitting straight struggle mode in the next few seasons, unless something insane happens, it's going to start hitting struggle mode. And as I'm looking down the pipe where I think this show is going, the problem that I have, if I'm going to be 100% honest, is that one, I don't know what the hell we're going to talk about with the five of them. I don't know what we'll talk about because they have nothing in common. They have no reason to deal with each other. And if we see them dealing with each other, because I know that there was some talk, I think it was Sarah, she does a podcast. I know she was saying, Sarah Fraser, she was saying that TLC was pushing for the cast members to get back together. Like kind of that, like Suki had floated the idea, why don't we get all the cast members back on the same couch? And I guess that's supposed to be like our wedding. You know, like back in the day, they used to have the wedding episode, and that was like the biggest episode of a series. Like the sister wives reunited for the tell-all. And that's supposed to be make us excited. But I've said it before. Like, I don't know if I want to see them get back on the couch together. What are you going to talk about? Like, you're not going to be able to say the shit. Like, you're never going to be able to say the shit you want to be able to say. You're not going to be able to get your stuff off the way you want to get it all. Like, we can sit here and pretend all day that Cody's going to sit there and be berated by Mary, Christine, and Janelle. And him and Robin just going to sit there and take it. That's not going to happen. What's going to happen is Janelle's going to start getting quiet. Mary, she's not trying to be the angry one. I just saw an interview with her, and she's basically saying that she doesn't want to have trouble with Cody, and she doesn't want to have issues with him. And even though, and this is a recent interview, even though they have their difficulties, she doesn't want to be the stereotypical divorcee wife that doesn't get along with her ex-husband. And like, what the shit are we talking about? So we're gonna sign up for another Mary cover job? Oh, there's things that I could talk about, but I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to bash them because that's unnecessary. We're all in this together and blah, blah, blah. Like, so this, what the fuck are we doing? Like, pardon my French. Like, you let this dude run you over like that? And I mean, we're gonna have to work it out because we're all adult. And I hate. Look, I'm gonna be honest. It's gonna be one of them nights. I hate when people sit around and pretend like getting walked over and taken advantage of, used and abused and mistreated is somehow some act of maturity. Oh, I'm just being mature. I'm mature. That would be childish if I held a grudge. It's not holding a grudge. See, here's the thing. I know we talk all the time about, well, we got to keep in mind how they grew up. Well, the way I grew up, okay, because that's a funny thing that we do too. A lot of times we spend so much time trying to accommodate everybody else's beliefs and understanding of the world that sometimes we downplay our own. The way I grew up, what my mother told me, what my father told me, the only thing you owe anybody is the damn truth. And if somebody does something wrong to you, you don't owe it to them to cover for them and lie for them and jeopardize and sacrifice your integrity to make that person feel better or make that person feel whole. That's not maturity. That's not maturity. That's not maturity. That's immaturity. That's insecurity. That's you not being strong enough in yourself to recognize that I don't need you to be my friend. If me being your friend means that I have to give up who I am and sacrifice what I'm about and forsake honesty and truthfulness, and I let you use and abuse me, everybody has had that one friend. I know I have. I know my wife has had that one relationship with people where you realize the only way I can maintain this relationship with this person is if everything they do is ha ha funny or not a big deal, or I just got to shuffle it off and pretend it's like it didn't happen. Oh, I'm being mature because I want to be all that dumb shit. right? I've had those relationships. I'm not even gonna put it on you guys. I don't know if you guys had them. I know I have. And at that point, you have to make the decision. Is this a relationship that's worth holding on? If I have to continue slighting myself, belittling myself, shrinking myself down in order to fit into this box to make them feel comfortable, is this a relationship that's really worth it to me? And I'm telling you, for me, it's not worth it. If I'm in Christine or Mary's situation and my wife was treating me the way Cody treated me, first of all, wouldn't have stuck around that damn long. And I know damn sure if I was treating her the way that Cody was treating Mary, this one would be gone. Okay? This would be gone. She ain't playing that shit. I can't take her my ring off and go melt that shit down and pretend like we gonna be copacetic. It's gonna be cool. And she ain't gonna talk shit. My wife gonna talk mad trash about me if I do some dumb shit like that. I get her, look her in the face and tell her that I've had we've been married and half the time that we've been married, I felt like I was being mistreated. So I'm gonna treat you like shit for that amount of time moving forward. Hell to the no. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. I don't know how y'all do it, but around here, we do a little different. Okay? We don't play that shit. Ain't nobody doing that. And you have to, like, and there's that point. And I understand maybe not going out of your way. Like, I get that part. You don't have to go out of your way to start messing with people because they're your ex. You should be able to stand in a room or go to events or go to your kids' parties and all that kind of thing and be able to stand there and not have shouting matches because you're in the same room. I understand it. See, that's maturity. That's maturity. But what's not going to happen is we're on a show. I'm taking a paycheck to tell the truth. And then I'm sitting on that show. And not only am I allowing this person to run all over me and make me look crazy and stupid, because that's what Cody is trying to do to you. It's not even me saying that you look crazy and stupid. I'm telling you that Cody's trying to make you look crazy and stupid. Every time you complain about something or point something out, he say that you out your damn mind and you don't know what you're talking about and you just saying shit. He making you look crazy and stupid. And then not only do I have to sit there and tolerate that, but then I have to sacrifice my integrity because I'm getting paid. Somebody is giving me money in exchange for me telling the truth. So not only am I a liar if I don't tell the truth, but I'm a freaking thief because I'm being paid to do it. Somebody's giving me, I've taken my story and I've traded them my story for something of value. And I've shortchanged that person. We don't tolerate that nowhere else we go. If I go to the supermarket and I buy a pound of rice, I don't expect them to sell me half a pound of damn rice at full price. And then look me in the face and say, I don't know what the problem is, James. We gave you the rice. You gave me half of what I paid for. Where's the other half of it? Well, James, I guess we're just gonna have to try to figure it out. No, we ain't gonna to figure out. Give me the half that I paid for. So this is just this is that point where, you know, I just can't. It's hard for me to continue to watch them pretend like we're gonna all come back together. Oh, we're gonna come back together. It's gonna be a fireworks in the air. No, it's gonna be bullshit. Because if you come back together, there's no way in the world I'm gonna agree to sit across from you on a couch. Anything, it's one of those things. To be honest with you, it would be stale to me. Like I don't mind you have a confrontation or you have a disagreement, and like I said, all you owe somebody is the truth. But to wait years and years and years and then go back and try to confront them, like, you know what I mean? And then you get because all that's going to happen, and here's my prediction. If those women sit on that couch and they come after Cody and Robin going to hit them because we already got the prelim. We already got the precursor. We already got the prototype in. Cody's going to look them in the face and say, y'all still talking about that? You still worried about what I'm doing? Y'all sweating the shit out of. Damn, back up, chief. I didn't know I put it on you like that, that I'm all up in your mind living rent free. And he gonna make them look like they crazy ass stalkers. Y'all just can't keep my name up out your mouth. Didn't we already hear that with Robin? Didn't we already hear that with Cody? And I'm looking down the line saying I wouldn't, if I was what's his name, David, I wouldn't put my wife in that situation. You know? I won't put myself in that situation at all. Hey, you know what? Here's Jody Pierce Scala, 499 super chat. I would like to see a poll on another show and maybe discuss every other week. I'm ready to move on. Just hits too much abuse and narcissism. Let's give Jody a little something, something. You know, because and that's what I'm talking about. Like when I talk about like the before I give a little something, something, I want to address this point. When there's part of me, like I said, there's some of it where I can see where that comes from. Because I've said the same thing. You know, I was all early on with the tell-alls. I was all on team. We all need to get them in the same room. They're getting paid. If Cody don't want to sit there and talk, have the conversation, then bump it. Don't pay his ass, right? But then it occurred to me, it's not Cody that we should be concerned about. What we should be concerned about is if Cody has been mentally, potentially physically, you know, taking advantage of these women for years, what kind of damage would it do to put them on a stage where they have to confront the person who's been victimizing them over the course of that time? And by me saying like this is what we need to do, am I encouraging it? Am I facilitating it? Am I basically a co-conspirator? You know? That's one of the things that I'm just not interested in seeing them all get back together. Because again, if we go back to the knife in the kidney speech where he was standing on Christine's porch cussing her ass out and telling her, you know, all that I sacrifice, the sacrifices I made to love you, wasted. That bullshit. It's not just the fact that he said something so ridiculous, right? The knife in the kidneys and all that, which is extremely violent if you know what he's talking about. Crazy violent, right? It's not just that's gives me room to pause. What gave me real room to pause and what really kind of stuck out to me wasn't him acting a fool. It was the fact that nobody else had any response. When we saw that, that was the faces of people who have seen this before. That's how people who this is Friday night. This is what Friday night looked like at the Brown house. Cody flipping the hell out, cussing everybody out, talking about knives in the kidneys and his violent demise and all this other crazy dark shit. And then all these ladies just sitting there staring at him, looking at their shoes or looking straight ahead. And like I said, like I'm just saying, like from my personal experience, when people act like that, what sends a flag off for me is that might be somebody who is being mistreated. Right? When a person responds that way, because in my personal experience, I'm more accustomed to the exact opposite. So if I stood there, and I'm using my wife as an example a lot, I get it. But if I was standing there and I said half that shit Cody said, not only will my wife not be looking at her shoes, she'll be looking me dead in the face, son, because she trying to figure out who I'm talking to. Like it would be a different conversation. Like it's a different conversation. You know what I mean? Like I would have it in my mind and I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna do this, you know. I'm gonna come off and I'm gonna pop, 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 and I'm gonna tell her, I'm gonna let her know what I'm about, son. Right? And how your plans will not survive the first encounter with the enemy. Like that's just that. It's a little Sun Tzu. Your well-laid plans seldom will survive the first contact with the enemy. So it's watching them do that is rough. So for Jody and other folks, uh stay in there because I do have different plans, like moving forward. I have plans in the works. Right? Because some of the stuff, like I said, I think that Sister Wives, and I'll be frank about it. I think Sister Wives is a dying show. Like it's a dying star, right? It just kind of is what it is. Like it's one of those shows that it had a very good run. It had a strong run, 10 seasons or 20 seasons. That's a strong run for a reality show. Right? We've learned a lot. The Brown families have been one of the more popular shows on TLC. But that show is pretty much it's run its course. They're not even sister wives anymore. The only two women who call themselves sister wives are what, Christine and Janelle. The other ladies can't even stand each other. And the two of them can't stand other women. So sister wives, my ass, they're not even close to sister wives. So that's not a thing, right? So when we look forward to what's next for me is if for sister wives, I fully expect a spinoff, probably several spinoffs from this show, especially looking at spinoff central down there with like 90 day fiancés. You know, they have two MILF Manas. They got, you know, both of them different and brought new cast members in. And, you know, they're constantly trying to find the next big thing, poly family. So TLC is constantly looking for the big thing and they're not willing. And I think that's part of the reason why they're not willing to let the Brown family go. They're not willing to let this storyline go. Because next season 20, you know what we're talking about? Cody Pass. That's going to be the storyline. I guarantee you. Mark my words. I'm going to go on record right now. Next season, in season 20, we're going to talk about Cowdy Pass, how they're whether Cody's going to swindle them out of Cowdy Pass, and whether he's going to try to sell it, and if they do sell it, them splitting the money up so that Cody can, you know, maintain some of his street cred or whatever. I'm a good person because I actually gave them their fair share because I'm wholesome because I'm on TV and I don't want to be embarrassed, you know. So we're going to watch that, and it's going to be, you know, it'll be what it is, and we'll get some more details and all that, and by the end of the season, TLC once again will use the content creators to try to propagate the show, you know, to help the show limp along, and by the end of the season, they'll basically be doing a wrap up. Cody will still be complaining about how it's stupid that they're not following him and Robin, and they're still talking about each other. And it's so dumb that, you know, now we're just talking about money and sex and money. Cody's the only one bringing up sex, and you owed him a bunch of money. So yeah, you're gonna talk about money, but it kind of is what it is. Where I am, where do we as fans, I think, need to move on. Let me give her a little something though for the super chat. Thank you, Jody. And we had another one from Jody. Jody Periscala, 499 super chat. I'm just feeling like I may not follow sister wife creators anymore. Ready to move on. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. And in fairness to Jody, like it is, like I said, it's a point of frustration because I genuinely feel like we're kind of being taken advantage of, you know, like because they put out like we're going to find out this great new information, but it's the same old thing just rehashed again, and then we go back and then to be honest with you, not only Cody and Robin, but all of them, like Cody, Robin, Mary, Christine, Janelle, they've all taken their turn saying basically that everything that we watched for the last 20 seasons or 19 seasons has been a lie. So if you've lied to me for the last 19 seasons, right? and you lied your way out of poverty. What in the world makes me think that you're not going to lie your way to stay out of poverty? So everything you say, because you've admitted that you've been lying to us, fervently lying to us for 19 seasons. I'm all of a sudden, because you started telling the truth in the last 3 seasons, I'm supposed to just forget that you've been lying to us the whole time. Not only have you been lying to us the whole time, and this is the part that I take issue with all of them. All of them. Not only did you lie to us about your family, but you proposed to other people who may have had curiosity about this particular lifestyle, that this lifestyle is amazing and that we shouldn't prejudge you, and that people who say that Robin is the favorite and Cody can't possibly be taking care of the wives and meeting the needs of the wives and the kids, we're all full of shit and we don't know what we're talking about. But as it turns out, your chief complaint is what? Cody couldn't satisfy the needs of the wives, and he wasn't taking care of all his children. This is we people weren't criticizing Cody because he was a polygamist. People were criticizing Cody and how he was conducting himself within these relationships because of how he was conducting himself in these relationships. The fact he had multiple wives, I would have said the same shit. My content wouldn't have changed one iota with regard to parenting, with regard to how you treat your spouse, whether you have one wife, 4 wives, or 50 wives. It's the same thing. You have to treat people like you treat them, and treat them with respect and dignity. You have to give them that so that they can grow as your partner and you can move forward together. Now, with Cody, everything was about him. That doesn't work in a monogamous relationship either. And I would dare to warn you, Cody, that if you're trying to do that in your monogamous relationship with Robin, that isn't going to work. Mostly because she's not going to sit around and wait for your ass to figure it out, especially when them checks start coming in short, because that's what she there for. And that's just the person you married. I don't feel like, and to be honest with you, that's when I say that, that's not me even cutting on Robin. Oh, she's a horrible person because she's a gold digger. No, look, that's what the man chose. That's what he married. He chose that. That's what he picked. That was his pick. He had 3 wives. He said, I want the one that's a gold digger. Everybody got a right to choose. Who am I to tell you what's going to make you happy? Some people like that kind of a transactional relationship. I'm not one of them, but there are people who like that. You know? Okay. I'm not mad at your choice, but don't tell me that your choice is something different. Don't be standing there with a hamburger talking about you a damn vegan. You know what I mean? Grease running down your mouth. I'm a vegan. I'll never touch no animals. Yeah. You just eat them, right? So, but like I said, Jody, we got some stuff coming. I think you might like it. We'll be doing some different things because there'll be more. Uh, we're gonna get more reactive, proactive, active, and reactive on the channel. So hopefully you enjoy that. You know, but thank you so much. Then we have another one from Jody Periscala, 499 Super Chat. Been abused by a narcissistic mother, dad absent, too close to feel anymore. Yeah, yeah. And that's, you know what, and that's one of the things too with a lot of what you see on Sister Wives. Like I've heard that comment before, that some of the things that have happened on the show are extremely triggering for people who have suffered with that, especially from the parental side. Like if their mom or their dad is a narcissist or displays narcissistic tendencies, a lot of times they're not formally diagnosed, but they display narcissistic tendencies, which just basically means they selfish ass mothers. And they, being a narcissist or having those tendencies, you don't necessarily make room for the people around you. You don't have that consideration for the people around you because everything is about you, right? And so watching Cody, a lot of the stuff, and again, this is, Mr. Brown, when you sit around and talk about everybody hates love. No, what people hate is the fact that you can't celebrate your child. Like, story time. I learned early on, I'm one of those people who is, I would even, there was a time I would even call myself an extreme extrovert, where I am the kind of person who could walk into a room, not know anybody, and I'll meet, if I don't meet everybody in the room, I'll meet a good majority of the people in the room, and I'll have a conversation with most of them. I'm that guy, right? Uh, I'm the guy who, when I was a young man, especially even today, right now, I'm the guy who historically in my early 20s, I was the guy that went to the bars and the clubs by myself. I didn't take friends. I didn't roll with a bunch of people. I went by myself because that's how I like to roll. I know what I'm gonna do. I know what's going on. If I feel funny about something, I could leave. If I'm having a good time, I don't have to worry about entertaining nobody else and leaving because they're not having a good time. I will go by myself. Right now, I'll go to a bar by myself. I'll go do an activity at a bar or whatever, sing songs or open mics or whatever. I'll do it by myself. I don't care, right? Because I'm that guy, and I'll go and socialize and have a good time. But what I learned early on is that when it comes time for my kids to shine or people around me, especially people I care about, when it comes time for them to shine, I fall back. Right? If they have an activity or there's something going on, there might be an opening where I could jump up and do something and turn all eyes on me or capture that attention, but it's not my time. So I fall back. And this is their time. This is their celebration. It's not about me, right? And that does two things. One, it's allowing them to have the opportunity to enjoy that experience and make it about them and their experience, not about you and you're making the experience and how you've experienced it, but you're helping them to enjoy it. Two, that also, and it gives them not only the memory, but it gives them like foundation and layers of experiences that they can build on, where they can develop their own sense of confidence and security. Because I go to this event and it's about me. I like being the center of attention. I like being assertive. I like people, admiring me and talking to me. I like that. So they'll seek that out later on. Right. So that's what I always try to instill in them. One of my favorite stories, I think I told this story before. There was a report that Denzel Washington, when he was younger guy and his kids were young, they would have sports activity and he would coach the teams. And Denzel Washington, a prolific movie actor. And while he was coaching the teams, people will come up to him and try to talk about like the movies and stuff he's in, or what's his next project. And he would tell them, no, this is not my time. This is not about me. It's about them. This is them. This is that they're playing whatever sport they playing, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. This is their time to shine. And I'm not Denzel Washington. I'm my kid's father at that point. And I say all that to say this. When I watch Sister Wives, I don't see any of that from Cody. I don't see, like, even with the baptism stuff. I have to be, in order for me to go to the baptism and enjoy the baptism, I have to be intricately involved in the baptism. I have to do the baptism. Even then, when I dunk you under the water, that's not enough. I have to say a prayer. And then after we come back from the baptism, I'm gonna sit at the restaurant and tell you that this is the most special memory that you ever gonna have in the coming days. Whether you get married, whether you have children of your own, no, you're not going to cherish those experiences. What you're going to cherish is the time that I came and I baptized you, and the things that I said to you. That's going to be way more important to you than the vows at your wedding, Mister Everybody Hates Love, than the birth of your children. Yeah, that's all going to be, child's play compared to what I'm getting. Like that's the I think some of the narcissism that Jody's talking about. And I think that that's a fair criticism. Like, it can be a little difficult to watch that because it's so blatant. And they're getting paid a lot for him to mistreat these ladies. But let me give her a little something. Thank you so much, Jody. Appreciate your generosity as well as your perspective. Boom, 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 boom. Because sadly, most of the shows on TLC are centered around narcissistic people, families. This is very true. This is very true. You know, it's just one of those things. Here's the thing. And this is where I'm at. What if TLC ends, James? What do we do? Will we get our happy ending? So I think a lot of people are tuning to TLC's Sister Wife for the sole purpose of waiting for the downfall of Cody and Robin. Ironically, we will never get the downfall of Cody and Robin as long as we watch the show, because as long as we watch the show, they're going to keep giving them checks, and them checks are going to keep bailing them out. It occurred to me a long time ago, and I'm not discouraging people to watch the show, but it occurred to me a long time ago that I won't say a long time ago, but most recently, that we've already had our happy ending. Like, if you really think about it, what's the one thing Cody always wanted to do in the family? And he's actually actively tried to use the family members to do it. He wanted to get into a situation where he has land and he's like this real estate tycoon and he's powerful. He has all this money and this disposable income and he has these fancy things. How much do you think it's killing him that these women, in his mind, these dummies, because push them down and shove, that's pretty much what that's pretty much how he approached it. The reason I'm the leader is because I'm the smartest, the bravest, the most intelligent. I'm a problem solver. I'm the man to make things happen. I'm the visionary. That's why I'm the leader of the family. It's not just because I'm a man. It's because I have these qualities. Then he gets divorced. You have one wife, your first wife. She divorces you. She has a home that she's paying for, and she's got her check, and you're no longer getting her check, and she's doing, I think she's like diamond level, which is basically meaning that she's making a significant amount of money in her multi-level marketing scheme or business, right? Making a ton of money, but Mary, like it or not, whether you support network marketing or not, she's making a ton of money. She's very successful in it. Right? Yeah. And the show played no small part in that, but she's very successful in it. Mary is making a ton of money doing that. Right. And Cody's not getting any of it. And he has to sit back and watch it. Then you have Janelle. She has her own, not only does she have a ton of land, 152 acres, she has a ton of land, right? And Cody's, the whole time he's been trying to steal and snatch, land, 1, 2, 3, 4 acres at a time. Here, Janelle is 160 acres. And she would have been happy with the little 4-acre lot that he was trying to give her. She has 160 acres. And not only does she have 160 acres, but she's on a precipice of starting her own business. And that business has already been moderately successful because they've been selling shirts like gangbusters. Like, that's not her business model. Merch isn't her business model, but she's doing very well with the merch, right? She's killing the merch game. Then on top of that, she's going to start doing the flowers, and she's also talking about selling flowers and that kind of thing. But she's also talking about doing like wedding venues and celebration venues. So she's on the precipice of having a very successful business, killing them. Then, of course, you have Christine. Christine, who left him, caused, he's mad at Christine because essentially Christine caused all this because she was the, that one loose thread that got pulled and all of a sudden the whole sweater came apart. Right. So Christine leaves. And not only does she leave, she starts acquiring properties. Now, remember Cody was saying that, we could turn that into a rental. We could buy this house. We could make it a rental. We could buy Christine's house. We'll turn it to a rental. We could take Coyote Pass. We could put some rentals up there. We make a ton of money. Gonna have rental. Christine, one of the first things she did when she got married to David, she bought 2 rentals. Right? And not only did she buy 2 rentals, she has a book coming out. And I know, like, folks are saying, like, this book is supposed to be kind of spicy. Cody's pissed about the book. He don't like, she put throwing shade on him, and he trying to stop the book from coming out. Funny thing is, TLC ain't gonna stop the book from coming out because as far as TLC is concerned, they're getting nothing but benefit from that book because that book pushes the show and they get paid from the show. So even if they don't make anything from the book is basically a commercial for the show. So TLC is not going to stop it. They're not incentivized to stop it. Well, it's going to make me look bad. Who cares? You're the villain anyway. Nobody gives a shit. Right? Sit down, buddy. But not only is she going to come out with a book, but like that book, each one of these women has found financial success. And we're not even talking about like the happiness and the relief and the relaxation and not having to deal with Cody anymore. But each one of them has found financial success that has consistently evaded Cody with everything that he's tried to do. And not only has it evaded Cody and he hasn't been able to participate in the success that they have, but they're successful in the very things that he wanted to be successful in. Ladies and gentlemen, I would submit to you that this is our happy ending. This is our closure. This is our closure. You know? Nicole said this book is personal. Yeah, no. This is Christine's book. And she most likely she made a good amount of money. She made a good amount of money in the when they gave her the advance for the book copy, and she'll make a ton of money on the back end. And to be honest with you, with the buzz about the book, it's slated, in my opinion, to be a New York Times bestseller that she will be solely responsible for. The reason why I say it's tied into TLC is because whether I like it or not, I'm tied into TLC. I've never received a check from TLC, never had a contact from TLC. TLC has never contacted me about anything. But at the end of the day, myself, Amanda, Sarah Frazier, Reality Squad, Backyard Barbie, Notes to Self 444, Corey and Melanie, Seeing Perspective. We're all essentially working with, not necessarily for TLC, and helping to promote the show. Because by us talking about the show, we're promoting the show. So while the show isn't on television, we're still keeping the interest alive in the show by talking about the show. In some cases, we're giving news or insight about the show. And that only helps the show. So when Cody goes to TLC and says, hey, this book that's coming out, which might be very popular, we need to stop it. TLC is going to say, kiss my ass, because this book might be very popular and it's going to get my name out there. There's a point, like part of the reason why, just a little inside baseball, part of the reason why so many YouTubers and people of that caliber want to talk to any of the cast members or Jen or, best friend Jen or whoever, they want to have that contact, is because that will push your channel. That will push your opportunity, your exposure. The fact that you have one of them on the show, it'll help your channel out. It is what it is. That's just the business model. It will help you. because it'll create a buzz about your channel. Like if Cody gets up and he's like, yeah, F James, that might take reality and them people, the MTR Armada, they kiss my ass. Like all of a sudden, I'm getting calls from this one and that one. And, hey, James, you want to come on and comment on how Cody called you an asshole? You know what I mean? And then more people, it's like even the people who some people will be curious about, like, what is he saying? They got Cody all riled up. And then, of course, you'll have the other people who will say, I don't like James. I support Cody, but they'll have to tune in to find out what I'm talking about. So, but that's basically what this book is going to do for Cody and the Sister Wives show. Because we'll read the book, put money in Christine's pocket. Yes, yes, yes. But we'll read the book, and as a result, we'll watch the show because we'll want to see the new knowledge that we gain from reading the book. We want to apply it to the show. So it encourages us to watch the show. So basically, the book itself will become a companion to the show, much like the original book that they came out with called Becoming Sister Wives is essentially a companion book to the show. So the book itself is canon, as it proves out. So this is it. I think that, like, for people who are looking for closure, I think this is the best sense of closure that we're going to get. That and the fact that something that Cody said, I wanted to do a video about it. I might roll it out this week still. But something that Cody said where he was like, hey, Audrey, he said, we have to, Megatron announced, all of a sudden, I'm responsible for taking care of these last 2 kids all by myself. That's the revenge. Like, you ignored the OG 13. Now you got them last 2 by yourself. Nobody's coming to save you and help you and bail your ass out. You can't keep spending money irresponsibly because you have the backup of somebody coming in covering your expenditures. Like, you go out and blow a bunch of money on bullshit. You don't have somebody coming right behind you paying your bills because they don't want to get put out too. It's like if you have like a roommate situation and you guys are both supposed to kick in $500 and your roommate don't pay, they get their check and they go out and drink their check up, then you still got to come up with the 500. So you don't want to get put out of the place because maybe you don't have nowhere else to go. You don't have any other options. So what do? You pay the $500. So now you're paying a full boat of $1,000 and your roommate is just sitting there chilling. And my suspicion is that when push came down to shove, the family fund and the way Cody was doing the family fund, he was probably pilfering the family fund. And the other ladies were covering the differences. They were covering the fact that the shortfalls. So if the family fund is supposed, everybody kicks in, like, say $100, it's $500 because it's 5 adults. Everybody kicks in $100, should have $500 in the account to pay that light bill. It's, all the light bills, and say the light bills are 100, prospectively going to be $100 a piece. And then all of a sudden, it comes up and Cody and Robin sitting there saying, well, we only got $200 left. So I guess we'll pay ours. We only got $100 left. You guys got to figure it out. These ladies don't want to be sitting in the dark. So they go ahead and take money out of their pockets and pay the lights. And I think that that's what was going on. That's why I think he's missing Janelle doing the books. It wasn't because she did the book so efficiently. It's just that she made up the difference. And I think that that was the value in her. I could be wrong. But let me I'm going to open this up because, like I said, I got a hard out at 8. So I'm going to open this up. Why is this not safe? Okay. Here's the link. So you guys can call in if you like. But yeah, that's my my thing is
that
Hello? You guys can still hear me, right? I don't know what that is. All right. I'm gonna close it out. All right, yeah. But yeah, I'm like I said, I think that that's gonna be where we are now, I think is the best we're gonna get as far as closure on this particular season. Because by the time Cody and Robin actually go through their money, it's gonna be a little while. Like, and I don't think that they have enough story in the meantime to keep the show going so that we can actually see them file for bankruptcy. And knowing the two of them, that like they'll go off and try to do it in some secretive ass kind of way, which also might be part of the reason why they put everything in a trust. That might be why they trusted everything, so that they can protect themselves from having to personally file bankruptcy. You know, but I mean, like I think that he's been going through his money, but they get paid. Like, and here's the thing too. Like, the reality of it is they get paid so much money each season because they are in one of the top tier shows on TLC. They get paid so much money that you know he might be able to keep his head above water. But he's like a but see, the thing to keep in mind, and the thing that I'm kind of looking at is the professional athlete scenario, where you have somebody who is a professional athlete, and as long as they play, they're able to keep up with their bills. They're spending their money. They're spending broke, but they're able to keep up with their bills. Like, I know a few guys that played professional sports, and there was one guy in particular. He actually played for a championship team. I won't say the team. He played for the Colts. I don't think it'll make a difference. I won't say his name, but he played for the Colts. And he he's he said when they got their checks, this is but when they were getting like actual receipts for the checks. He said that the quarterback would get his check and be crazy, like millions of dollars, like in one check. But not everybody got paid like the quarterback, and that's the reality of it. Like, even if you say I'm gonna date a guy from the NFL, not everybody is getting paid the same. Like, quarterbacks make what they make. They make the most out of everybody on the team. Then you have like the receivers, running backs, linemen, and it goes down from there. And depending on what position you are and how whether you're a franchise player and how your contract negotiations went, you could have guys who are literally getting paid millions of dollars each check, and you have other guys who are getting paid a lot. They're getting paid a lot, but it's not as much as you think, especially after you break down like managers, agents, lawyers, and everything else. It's not a lot. So you're trying to keep up, being a guy who's not making that much, trying to keep up with the guys who are making tons of money. It's not going to work. And what happens is what he said he saw a lot on the teams that he was on was that the guys who get paid, like, because playing football, you only get paid during the season. So whatever you get paid during the season, you have to make it last for off season. So off season. And as it turns out, you had a lot of guys who would, they get their checks and then during the season, they would be going crazy, going to the club, going to the bar, they buying the damn bar out. Got the whole entourage going, a bunch of people, hanger owners, and folks, they just paying for everybody, going on trips, they taking everybody, buying everybody hotel rooms, plane tickets, rental cars, all that, paying for people's houses and all that kind of stuff. And then by the end of the season, a lot of them guys come back and they are hurt. Like, they are hurting for money. It's bad. And they need that first check because they falling behind on their bills and they get that next infusion of cash money from that for the season, and they back on track. And I think that, like, my suspicion, and I could be wrong, but my suspicion is that's kind of what Cody and Robin are doing. Like, they get that a big infusion of checks and money from the show, good to go. But the problem is for a lot of those guys, when their careers end, they don't have anything saved. because that's the other part of it. Like this isn't like like we talk a lot of times. I see like, oh, they're gonna have to get 9 to 5 jobs to get real jobs. This isn't like a real job. So you get a real job. A lot of times you get paid weekly. With some of these shows, you get paid at the end of the season. Or if you get paid, you might get paid like once a month or something like that. And that's a different level of savings. That's a different level of budgeting. That's a different level of how you work your money. And so you're not guaranteed that money. So if you show up to a job, right, you know what you're going to get paid. Each week, you know what your check looks like. You know what it is. But when you have this kind of job, depending on how many episodes you're in, how involved you are, what your contract negotiation looks like, some months, fat as a hog, fat as a pig. Next month, skinny as a rail. You know, money's light. So it'll be interesting to see how they do it. But yeah, and I said that too. Where's that at? All I was saying was TLC tried to push that narrative. Yeah, I'm not even sure what you guys are talking about, but yeah, like I do think TLC does push a narrative. Um, but like, I just, like I said, I think Devin more than Caleb than Maddie. Yeah, well, there was one point where, like, even how to deal with money, because I thought that was interesting when Maddie had that short stint with her podcast, where she talked about how Cody and them dealt with money issues and things, and they said, Cody is bad with money, son. He bad with money. He's like does a lot of get rich quick scheme stuff and like shortcutting stuff. Whereas Caleb was more Caleb and his influence on Maddie was more okay. You work and you put aside. You buy things that you can afford. You don't put everything on credit. That's kind of how I was brought up. Like you learn patience when it comes to the things that you want. Um, and even to this day, like story time, like one of the things that I try to push to my kids all the time is that it's not about getting, it's about keeping. If you dig what I'm saying, it's not about the things that you can get, it's about the things that you can keep. Um I didn't push that up. So you want to if you go out and you get a house, and you can't afford it, or you buy a house, you want to make sure you get a house that you can afford. Because the last thing you want to do is get a house, put all your down payment down, tell all your friends your new address, have the whole housewarming party, and then before you can actually had a housewarming party and the paint dry good, and you actually can remember like 3 or 4 different ways to get to your house, you wind up getting an eviction notice or getting a what they call a repossession or foreclosure because you couldn't afford it. So that's what I'm talking about. I gotta post it up top. Forgot to pin it. But yeah. So I think that's like the big issue. Like because going out, running out, buying a $2.1 million house, huge flex. You got a multi-million-dollar home, okay. Need some updating, so you gonna put some money in it, get it nice, okay. Playboy player. But what's it gonna look like if you get it nice for somebody else? Like I'm not trying to buy a house, make it nice so the bank can take that shit. You know what I mean? I want it nice for me.
Call me selfish if you want, but that's how I'm rolling. That's how I try to, tell my kids, like, don't go out and buy, work to get a brand new car, only to have a brand new car that you're gonna wind up giving back to the bank man or give back to the dealer because you can't afford it. You look good in it for 2 weekends straight. You turning all the heads. But even in just the importance of vehicles, like the stuff that Cody finds impressive or valuable, I really don't put a whole lot of stock into. Just me. Like I think we have a difference of opinion, and I would talk to Cody about that. Like if he wanted to have a conversation about that, I think that would be an interesting conversation because he sees poverty as like I don't want to be in a situation where I look poor. Me, I don't want to be in a situation where I am poor. You understand what I mean? And there's a difference. Like, I don't want to be in a situation where I'm struggling and trying to figure out how to pay bills. Like I don't mind driving an older car or whatever. I could fix a damn car. And when push them down the shelf, let's be honest, like I was forced to upgrade my vehicle just recently because it went down. But I look, like my mom used to say, you don't know what people pulled up and you get to the party, you go inside, your car is sitting outside. So if I go somewhere and I had like a $90,000, $100,000 truck or a car or something, and I gotta leave that bad boy outside for people to try to open their doors up on my shit or back up into it or run a cart into it. I go into the supermarket or whatever, come out and the kids are like riding the carts with their foot in the joint, like and they can't stop and they run into the side of my car. You know how hurt I would be? Someday I'm making and the way cars are priced now, you making a mortgage payment on some of these new cars. That's a straight up mortgage payment. I heard people like I was watching some of the reaction channels. They had like a guy, they had a group of people talking about their car payments. Got people paying like $1,500 for car payments. That's a mortgage. I guess maybe I'm old and I'm like, back around there, you can get a loaf of bread for a nickel. Like I feel like that. But damn, $100,000. This car better be nice. I remember when a Ferrari was $100,000. You crazy? But yeah. We got our first caller, Tammy White. Welcome to the stage, Tammy White. What's going on?
Hey, it's me, Megatron.
Hey, Megatron, what's
Yeah,
going on?
Tammy is my real name. Look, I was gonna call for something else, but we got to talking in the chat. I think I need to clarify to everybody listening, right? I ain't on camera, y'all, cause my hair ain't done, so I don't want y'all to see me like that.
No worries.
But what it took to develop Coyote Pass is different from North Carolina.
Right.
So people saying, "Oh, it's all swampland." Like, listen, it's not swampland. First of all, 160 acres, I don't think they're understanding how big that is. How big of a landmass 160 acres is. It
Yeah, it's
may be a
huge.
pond or two on that property, but it's not swamp. North Carolina, we're not swamp, y'all. I promise.
You
So
say you have Florida?
basically, yeah, they're thinking way further down. It's not
Yeah, that's
swamp.
Florida. Yeah, Florida's
Um,
swamp.
And so, like, she's gonna have to spend this money in developing. No, we use the aquifers in North Carolina. It's like well water underneath the land. A
Right.
good 70% of the state of North Carolina, we don't pay for water. We just use what's on the land naturally.
Hmm.
So the development that Janelle is doing is totally different from the development she would have had to do in Arizona. That's dry. You're talking about moist ass North Carolina where the humidity will take you out if you're not used to it. So I just really need everybody to understand you can't compare Arizona to North Carolina and develop. So I was there 2 weeks ago. Their house is almost done. Her and Maddie's house is almost done. And keep in mind that this land also was a former farm. They just
Okay.
didn't use all of the land.
Right.
So I mean, I would say 75%. I can see it being up and running by Christmas.
Right. Right.
And
Well, I mean,
as a farmer's daughter, because I'm a farmer's daughter too, you can't just say I'm gonna start a flower farm and have flowers in a month. You have to
Right.
test the soil. You have to make sure like which flowers will work here. So I just want everybody to keep in mind that what Janelle is doing in North Carolina, please don't compare it to what she was trying to do in Arizona. Two different things.
Well,
Apples
because
and oranges.
to add to that, I think that there's also there's a pricing difference when it comes to building in North Carolina versus building in Flagstaff, Arizona as well. So it's actually cheaper for you to build in North Carolina than it is in
Exactly.
Flagstaff. So you can get, and this is just the reality talk, like real talk, no shade on anybody. But the truth of the matter is, you can get more house and more property in North Carolina
In
than you
North
can
Carolina,
in
right.
Flagstaff. Yeah,
And
yeah,
then Flagstaff. I mean, because you got to think about it. Arizona is dry, so they have to bring in a lot of the stuff. All the wood from Janelle's house probably came from the land itself.
mhm,
All she had to do was pay somebody to cut it down, treat it, and boom. So she cut the middleman out.
right, right,
So I'm seeing. I mean, it's as a North Carolinian, I'm really offended a little bit by some of the, it's what I'm saying. But I just wanted to clear that up. Like y'all can't compare the apples and the oranges. She doing her thing down there. I go home quite often. And I mean, I ain't even gonna lie, just out of respect for privacy, whatever, I don't try to, be up in their face, taking pictures of their stuff. You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't want nobody to do that
right.
to me. But I'll ride through there. Because like I said, Maddie lives across the street from my my aunt that passed away 2 months ago. My uncle still lives there. So you'll see them about, we sit on the porch, we'll see them out and about with the kids or whatever. We, just say, hey. But I mean, it's a different ball game. And like you said, James, North Carolina is cheaper.
Yeah.
And I think Caramel Cuties mentioned like what she's gonna do with it because they've cleared like 50. I would say 50 acres of the land.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
But
it's
see, the
about
thing
50
is,
acres that's
though,
been cleared.
like secret to the sauce, because I said this about Cody, and even in Arizona, because you always see him out there knocking the damn tree down. And the truth of the matter is, for those who don't know, like quiet is kept. You could pay people, not pay people. You can have people come on your land and they will take them trees and pay you for those
Pay
trees.
you. Yep,
Yeah, they
lumber.
will pay you for those trees. Yeah, because the lumber is crazy expensive.
Right,
That's
exactly.
great. But she
Exactly.
might be sitting on a damn gold mine. So if she cleared out 50. Like you could be looking at like 50 acres. It's probably brush and stuff too. So in fairness, it's probably brush that she was clearing out. But those trees are worth a
Oh yeah.
lot of money. Those trees are worth a
And
lot
yeah.
of money. So
And
like
they're
you
very
said though,
tall
you probably
trees.
could cut it down and make a house with them. You could use it. You could do that. But yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I do appreciate that too, like the perspective, because there is a fundamental difference, and which is also part of the reason why she was able to go down to North Carolina and get 160 or almost 160 acres for a little less than $300,000
Yep.
versus the 14 acres that they paid almost $1 million for.
Yeah,
Because
and also,
it's just
James, the
different. It's just
perspective
different.
of North Carolina is an agriculture state. We're
Mm.
big tobacco, cotton, corn, wheat, those kinds of products. That was a actually functioning farm before she bought it.
Oh, okay, okay,
It was a functioning farm. But what happens is the grandfather was the farmer. The son, he paid for his son to go up to Chapel Hill and Duke to get this fancy education.
right,
Okay, the
right,
son raises his children to have nothing to do with the farm. Grandfather dies, son don't want nothing to do with it. Grandson don't want nothing to do with it. So how much you give me for it? Like that's like I don't think people understand. North Carolina is the South.
right, right,
You know what I mean? So those generations, this is what maybe 3 generations out from the original owners, they don't care about the land.
mm,
Oh, the surveyor says this land is worth $400,000. Well, I'll give you 354. So that's how that
right,
deal went down. That's how that went down. So she
right,
basically, like you said, because the family that previously owned it didn't want to be bothered with it. So she
right,
got the gold mine for pennies. And if she was smart, all of the stuff that I've been hearing she's doing with it will that's generational wealth for her and her family because they are willing to do the work.
right, right.
And
Well, 'cause
that's
sometimes,
honestly a lot of families from, like you said, Colorado, Utah, and all. They're coming to the South, and they're starting to encroach. So that's another issue that we might see in the future with Janelle and them, because a lot of the Southerners, like, we're pissed. Well, why not sell that land to me? I'm from here. I grew up on this land. I drove four-wheelers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have bought it if I would have got the opportunity.
Right.
So that's something to look forward to. Like, a lot of pissed off Southern people getting pissed off about these people from out west buying up all the land.
Well, I mean, in fairness, because even around where I'm at, and this is one of the issues that I had, like, not only in the town I'm currently in, but in the town I was formerly from, it seems like anywhere there's a patch of damn dirt, they try to throw a house there.
Yep.
And where my house is now, this was all like, my house is located in a place that was all farmland. So what they were doing was kind of like what you were saying, because I'm familiar with that too. Like I said, my people from Georgia. But what happens is that they come in, they get them farms, they buy those farms for cheap, and the first thing they do is start throwing them McMansions up, and they start creating neighborhoods in a lot of those places. So a lot of the farms are actually dissipating because you have developers coming in, sucking up a lot of that land too. So it's not just like Janelle is, at least she's keeping it a farm, but you do have people coming down like North Carolina, Georgia, and different places, North, South Carolina, Georgia, and like you said, in the southern region, and they're trying to buy those farms up and turn them into residential neighborhoods, and they're making a killing. Like, them guys are killing.
Golf courses and these, like you said, these resort, like these, because okay, so where Janelle's property is, it's only about 30 miles from the Outer Banks. It's not far. And then North Carolina, we have the Sound. It's not the quote unquote the ocean, but it's still water. Right. And so a lot of these celebrities are running up the price value because they're putting these mega mansions that they only stay in 2 weeks out of the whole year.
Yeah. But the taxes are all year long.
Exactly. But it's running up, mom and pops that's been there for 3 generations. They can barely afford, off their Social Security, the $600 a year taxes. Now they're having to pay $6,000 a year because they smushed in between 7 mega mansions.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, those taxes all year long. So when they come in, and they build those big ass houses. The houses drive the taxes up because now their houses are assessed at like $20 million or whatever.
Yep.
And that assessment, so all of a sudden they look it over at mom and pop. And the craziest part is the land that the mega mansions are sitting on might be a fraction of what those farms property is. But
that's exactly what's happening.
Properties like, oh, you got 100 acres, so now, like you said, so instead of you paying $600, now you're gonna pay $2,000, $3,000, $6,000, $10,000 a year. And like, even with farms are kind of run like mom and pop farms, not the big corporate farms, but the mom and pop farms are kind of run like restaurants, where it's a very, like, you're running a very narrow margin between like your profit and your costs.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So you're holding on, like, you're doing it, you'll be able to provide for yourself, but those kind of expenditures are actually what creates a lot of problems for a lot of the farmers in those areas, because they can't keep up with the like, I can't pay for feed or pay for seed, pay for the equipment and stuff I need, and still eat and live like a human being. And then all of a sudden I got a huge tax bill. It gets wild. But that's a good point though.
Yeah, I just wanted to clear that up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't be comparing us to them weird folks in Arizona. There, we not like that. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
No, I'll tell you what though, because from what I saw, like, because I was looking at a survey of the land, like a topographical map of the property she bought because it was online, and I haven't been to her house. But looking at it, like you said, there's some areas that have ponds on it, I think. But again, with that much land, you probably would have some areas. You're going to have ponds. You're going to have wildlife. You're going to have things on the land just because. And it's not unusual. And actually, you can turn, if you're trying to make it a thing, you can turn those into features of the land. So if she puts a celebration,
so that's what I was saying in the group.
That pond is money.
I was telling Caramel Cuties in the group, she can preserve half of that. Well, not half, but a certain percentage of that land just for wildlife. So, like, let's just say hypothetically, James, you called because you got a fox, you trapped a fox or a raccoon or something in your yard. They have to release that stuff back into the wild. So if
Right.
she says, okay, well, you can, have this percentage of the land just for preserved just for wildlife, the game wardens will know, okay, well, we can take this to her land. She'll get a stipend from the state because that's what my family does with our land down there. It's untouched, it's natural, no tree, like nothing, no buildings or anything. And so if they get, a critter or something they need to release, they'll come and release it on the land. But we get a stipend every year from the government that says, I can't hunt on this land. I can't build on this land. I can't alter this land any way, shape,
Right.
form, or fashion. And you get a stipend from the government there also. And another thing she can do, I was telling that's rumored, she's making an RV park.
Okay.
Like, because a lot of people, like, because it's so close to the ocean, they'll just drive their RVs there, stay at the RV park, and then, drive up to the ocean for the day or whatever. So that's another thing that, from now, this is just rumor. This is what I heard from locals that I know personally, that she's also trying to do a wedding venue, event venue, log cabins for like camp and all that kind of stuff, and then an RV park
That
along with
RV
the
park is
flower farm.
gold, though. I'm gonna tell you
Yes,
what, that RV park is gold because that's one of the things. Like, you might have to pay somebody to go out there and keep it clean, but shit, that, like, it's just land. Like,
yeah,
as long as it's flat, you maybe run some kind of electricity out there for folks if
yeah.
necessary. But yeah, that's money. That's
And
money.
you rent, like, and especially in rural
Uh,
North Carolina, that's all you see are like RVs and mobile homes.
yeah. Well,
I
because
mean, I
I
grew up in
mean,
a mobile home.
yeah, because like you said, if you're close to if you're 30 minutes out from the Outer Banks,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, that's
She's
like
30 minutes from the actual ocean, but she's only 20 minutes from the sound, which is also like you got Griffin Beach. It's like
uh
Lake Mattamuskeet, like a lot of fishing and other stuff goes like that's even closer to her. So
oh
she can
wow.
also do like a bait and tackle shop. I mean, it's endless what she could do with this land. I promise you.
Oh, oh.
But
Well, good
she's
for
got
her.
Hayden down there working. I know the last time I rode through there, he was out there clearing out brush and stuff like that too. So I think
Okay.
Payton's gonna have a big hand in helping her develop and get going.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, but like you said, though, I think that, but that's like when I was talking about, like some of the things that Cody is, like FOMO for Cody. That's one of the things that he was trying. He had always talked about doing that on the show, and so I think it's ironic and it's almost befitting that she's actually doing some of the things that he had always talked about. Like, oh, I got it in the works and I'm going to do this thing, and now she's out there actually doing it. So good on her.
Oh
Good on
yeah,
her.
definitely.
You know, good on her. But yeah, I do appreciate the on the ground perspective because we do have to keep it in perspective. It
No
is what it is.
problem. You
And I'm
know,
not taking
you
shots
knew
at
I was gonna
nobody, but
call.
yeah. No, I mean, it is what it is because you get like you see it. There is a point of tunnel vision where you see it one way because this is what we're told about Arizona, but like it's just realistic. Like if you're from like the South or you're familiar with the South, like I know a guy, his family is from Kentucky, and when he was talking about like he said when his grandfather passed, they had like 200-300 acres down there. He said you go down there and get like 200-300 acres, an acre or so, 2-3 acres for like $20,000-$30,000. He's like it's
Oh
no
yeah.
no money, but it's foreign, especially if you're up north or you're like on the more the east coast or the west coast. Like $10,000 for an acre of land is ridiculous. Like that's crackhead prices. So you're just not used to it,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely. Especially when you have, like you said, like I was saying, generations that they just want the money. I don't want nothing to do with it. That's what's happening a lot in the South.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what they say. It's the after World War II, they say, it's hard to get the boys back on the farm after they seen the streets of Gay Paris. So once
Listen,
my man went to
especially with them,
college,
yeah,
yeah,
especially with them swiping up the people willing to work it.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
immigration people taking them.
Like all of a sudden, I gotta get on the phone.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
we're not doing that. Yeah,
Listen, the amigos will do it, but if the government would leave them alone and let them do it, they'll do it.
right, right.
But now they got to hide, and you got to have you got a couple lookouts looking to make sure ain't nobody coming. You can't work like that, man.
No, no, not for real. And you know, it's crazy because even in the corporate world, like I went through a layoff in my corporate job, and I saw like the difference in culture. And I'm just tying it in this way that when you see people come into work and they're there working and they're doing their thing, it like everybody's excited to be there, they're happy, and this that, and other. But the second they said, "Yeah, we're about to be acquired by another company," now everybody's working scared, and the
Yeah,
quality of work goes right to the toilet because you
plummets.
can't do your job when you're scared of what might happen. Like I show up to work, I might get called for a meeting. In this case, like I show up to work, the vans might pull up and I'm gone.
Yeah,
You know,
yep. They send the school
uh,
buses to pick them up now. It's sad,
damn.
especially when you see it in real time. And off subject a little bit, but a lot of the chicken and turkey and stuff that you guys eat and enjoy, a lot of those farms are in North Carolina. My brother's the manager at the Butterball down in Mount Olive.
Oh,
He
okay,
went from having 1,000 employees that he supervised every night to now he can barely get 200 people in there to work, which is affecting productivity. That's if
right.
you've noticed a skyrocket in like turkey wings and the prices of that stuff going up. That's why, because they employed a lot of immigrants.
Mm,
And now with the big sweep happening, a lot of these animal farms, meat farms I call them, they can't get nobody to work them now.
yeah, yeah. Well, we
So
kind of got
that's
the
why
same
a lot
thing.
of the food prices is going up.
Yeah, because we got the same thing up where I'm at. Because we have I have a couple of big pork places up near me, and I
Smithville.
well, actually, we have was it Hatfield? Um,
Okay, it's like a sister company to Smithville. Smithville is the pork, and then you have Butterball, which is turkey, and then you have Purdue, which is the chicken.
right,
And
right.
they've actually shut down quite a few of the Purdue's and the Butterballs back home.
Mm, mm.
Because no, they can't. I mean, you go from having 1,000 employees, and then in a matter of an hour, you only got 200 left. You can't
Yeah,
do a whole lot of producing.
that's 80% of your workforce.
Yeah.
PSA, and I'm gonna have to take my own advice. PSA, you just reminded me of something. Go get some frozen turkeys now because Thanksgiving might be tight, y'all.
Listen,
Straight up.
look, I told you my brother the manager, we on game. We are look, the deep freezers is already full, bro. The deep freezers is already full.
Like we got the turkey game on lock. We ain't playing.
Now you know what I'm
Nobody gonna
saying.
cook at Thanksgiving.
Look, he one of the managers there. We good on turkey because he. That's crazy that you said that because he actually told us that last month. So when I went
Okay.
back down to North Carolina, I was like, yeah, let me go on and get these. Go
Yeah,
on
we
and get
gonna
these real quick.
slide these right in the bucket. We gonna put these in the cart.
You
We
know, you
good. Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So
But I'm
yeah,
glad you said that because I didn't think about it before. But you're 100% right. Like I'm gonna have to go out and make some purchases because I don't want to get caught. You know, I don't
oh
want to get
yeah,
caught. Plus, I do the cooking, so I gotta have something to cook. And I'm not trying to
right.
make no miracles on a few months.
You know. Well, I enjoyed talking to you. This was really nice. I'm
Oh, thank
actually,
you.
I feel good.
There you go. There you go. Want everybody to feel good leaving, you know?
And y'all go get y'all turkeys.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm on game now. You done got me. You done got me. Tell your brother I said thank you.
I
Tell my
definitely
mention I
will.
thank you. you know, if you see Janelle and them, tell them I said hey. But I mean, I'm happy for them. You don't have to do that, but I'm happy for them that they're actually pulling together with it. And it's also nice. The one thing I will say before I let you go, the one thing that's really nice is to hear that not only is it her trying to make it happen, but to hear that her family is down there supporting her and trying to make it happen. And that because that also makes because that was also a thing that she had said at least on the show that was important to her. That some place that the family, because even when they talked about Cowdy Pass, it was supposed
Yeah,
to be a place where the family could come and be together and work together. But this nice that she created that environment herself.
yeah, yeah.
No, that's all. That's
And
awesome.
McKelty's only 4 hours away from them. I don't know how. I've never seen her, but I mean, she's not far off.
Oh, okay.
She's
Okay.
in
Oh, even
Charlotte. With
closer than she was.
Charlotte is on the other side of the state.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
We
yeah,
love
she's
for that.
definitely got a support system, and the people there in North Carolina are like a lot of people there are rallying around her off the strength of Big G.
Oh,
And if
okay.
you know, I just said you Southern, you know how we do when people going through stuff like I think
Yeah.
she actually posted a video of one of the neighbors, like he came and cleared off some stuff for free for her. Like that's how
Mm,
we do. So she definitely has a village that's rallying
okay.
around her. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You know what's weird though? Because even in the sister wife book, like Becoming Sister Wives, she talked about like wanting to live that kind of lifestyle. Even way back when, before she said even before she got married, she would go to Cody's dad's house, to his ranch, and camp out there and do all the like the activities, hiking and all that. And she missed that. So yeah,
Well, she's in the
cool how
right
it works
spot. I
out.
can tell you that.
Yeah.
She's in the right spot.
Yeah, it's cool how it works out, especially being as though you're surrounded by people who are supporting you. Because I think that makes a huge difference too.
Yeah,
Like we had
good. And
one
they're down
community,
home people. Good down home
right?
people. Like they don't, it's like as a neighbor, I don't expect anything from you other than if you see me going through a situation, bring a casserole, give me a hug, and you know what I'm saying? And that's the
Yeah,
environment that she's in, which I think drew her to the area
right,
because I don't know, like we was talking about Maddie's podcast where she's talking about the elderly neighbor that kind of adopted her son as a grandson, and it
mm,
kind of put in perspective how absent Cody was, and I think that's what was the tipping point for Maddie to say
right,
no contact with her kids because the older people in her neighborhood um embrace her kids, like theirs. So I
right,
think that's what drew Janelle to that area. She saw how inclusive like it's not even just your neighbors. It's just inclusive. It's an inclusive city, period.
mm, mm.
So I think that's what drew her in. And I mean, I'm happy for her, whatever, but I just pray for her because I don't know. I just feel like Janelle straddles the fence with Cody. We're not gonna go
Yeah,
into that,
yeah.
but
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
yeah,
But hopefully, like you get enough time in the sun, you realize you don't want to go back to the shade. That's what I'm kind of
that part.
banging on.
I don't think her kids would let her anyway. I think Maddie would cut her off. I honestly think Maddie gave Janelle an ultimatum. Him or me.
Right, right. I can't
I
keep doing
believe
this with you. Yeah.
But
You're gonna make
anyway,
me drive
thank you for
up
taking
there.
my call.
Oh,
I
no
don't want to
worries. Thank
hog.
you for
I don't want to
calling in.
monopolize you.
No, no, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank
Well,
you for
thank you.
calling in.
Y'all I was gonna say I'm gonna keep watching, but thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
All right. That was Megatron, guys. We have Megatron from called in from, well, she lived in North Carolina. I don't think she's there anymore, but she says she goes back home. So it's nice to see the little perspective. And oh, okay. I think Janelle learned at a very young age that she don't need a man. Yeah. Well, because that actually touches into too. Like, I'd be curious about what her relationship with her dad is because I never really heard her talk about her father before in a relationship with her dad. But like you said, if you sometimes when if you're that good example, like if her mom was doing it without a husband until she married Cody's dad, you know, she might have recognized that, in some cases, if they're not on the same page, they just there to fill that certain need, and you just keep it pushing. But that's awesome. All right, guys. But I think I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna run a short one tonight. Appreciate everybody for participating. Wait, before we go, we got I think I saw another super chat coming. Yeah. Jody Periscala, 999 super chat. We live in a very small town. Mother-in-law bought 50 acres. Okay, 50 acres. Damn, that's a lot. Holy smokes. $25,000 sold for 100,000 after 10 years. Like our town is 200 people. Depends on how productive the land is. Yeah, yeah. It depends on the production of land and what's going on around it. So you could have like yeah, you could have a piece of property and like when it comes to land development and that kind of thing, I actually heard something that was very interesting. Uh if you want to know where it might start popping, at least historically, see where they're building like a Target, Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, one of those box stores. And I say that because a lot of times the money that they put into those areas, they have to know what they have to be sure that they're going to get their money back. They have what's called an ROI, return of investment. So if they're going to build $100 million store, they want to make sure that they're going to get that $100 million back. It's got to be worth it. So a lot of times they'll see emerging markets where they'll say like, okay, we see that this area is going to do this in so many years. The so they won't build in a place where there's no prospect of success, you know. So Janelle, Megatron was saying, a lot of people from the north and even from the west coast are starting to buy property in the east coast, southern east region, southeast region of the country because the land is inexpensive. And once they start populating a lot of those areas, the ability to grow in those areas may not be as important as it is to have as long as you can run water and or electricity. If it doesn't have those utilities, they'll throw a house on it. They will throw a house on it, especially if businesses are starting to invest in those areas, because then that land is guaranteed to be worth money. But yeah, 29,000. Oh, 50 acres. Lord have mercy. Uh, I always said I wanted land like that. I wanted horses, but I always wanted a horse or a few horses. But that's a dream. Pie in the sky. Pie in the sky. Apple pie. You know, holy smokes. 50 acres. That's nice. That's nice. Cody would be jealous. Little 14 acres. Little 14 acres. But thank you so much, Jody. Yeah, I'm gonna oh, just as a quick announcement, I have to run an announcement after I give Jody a little something, something. But yeah, I'm gonna be next week, next Sunday and the Sunday after next. So from Sunday to Sunday, I'm gonna be with the family. So I'm gonna post some videos. So I'll have videos coming up, but I won't be able to do the lives next Sunday or the Sunday after next. So you guys know. Um, sorry, I didn't tell the mods yet, so they're finding out now. Like, James, what are you doing? But yeah, I will be posting videos just so you guys know. Some of the videos won't be sister wife as strongly sister wife concentrated. Oh, Wendy's front yard. Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne passed. Yeah, Malcolm Jamal Warner passed too. Holy smokes, passed away. He was from Cosby Show. He did some of the surgical shows or doctor shows. He played doctor like 3 or 4 times in different episodes. Um, but yeah, War Pigs. I was talking to my wife about War Pigs the other day. But yeah, I'm gonna have videos coming out. Like I said, I'll have some reaction videos about other content as well as Sister Wives. I'm still going to do Sister Wives stuff, just not as strongly focused on Sister Wives as I've been historically. Just because, I mean, like I said, I want to try to keep the community going, and I'm not sure. how much longer Sister Wives is going to be able to hold the eye. There's also, Hulk Hogan passed away too. Thank you, Carmel Kitties. The Hulk stuff passed. But there was also a point too where just a little inside baseball where David Woolley, Christine's husband, his son got into some legal troubles. I won't necessarily go into it because it's kind of embarrassing for them. But he got in some legal troubles. So he's having some problems and issues. And I guess depending on how they choose to deal with it, and more importantly, how the reporting comes out about it, might determine how much longer they're on the show as well. Because if they're doing well financially, David may not want to drag his kids into the reality show Spire, where they're being observed. Because it is like he's facing like time or whatever. Stealing cars. But so that could be a thing coming up too, to kind of keep an eye on. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm not sure how much longer this show is going to go. So we'll be trying to explore other things. We'll be doing some other stuff. Should be interesting. Should be fun. Hopefully, I can convince my wife to do more stuff. In case you guys didn't know, she's actually appearing in my last video that I did about 90 Day Fiance. If you don't watch the show, you don't have to watch the show to watch the video. The way we talk about it, because we're talking about it more from a perspective of this is the situation that occurred on this particular episode, and what is our perspective of it? How would you deal with it? And the situation which occurred was basically one of the characters isn't necessarily supportive of her friend and her friend's decision or ability to make a decision. So, grown folks are going to make grown folks decisions. And so you got to give your friend the respect to understand that they're going to make the decisions that they choose. And you have to be willing to, give them your perspective. But if they choose not to take your advice, you have to give them the respect of saying, okay, well, I gave you my thoughts, gave you advice, observations. You choose not to accept it. Cool. And let them go make their own decisions because they're grown folks. They're going to make their own choices. So we talked about it from that respect. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. But yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Sorry for the early start, but I wanted to at least get this in tonight to make sure that you guys, we were able to connect. Appreciate Megatron calling in, as well as the Mega Mods holding the player down, Carmel Cuties and Lizzie B, as well as the folks, as well as the folks in the chat, keeping it super cool. Let me give you guys all a little something. All right, guys. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with a player. Yeah, I want to thank you so much for hanging out with a player. I appreciate you. Make sure you take care of yourselves. Take care of everything. Spend time with your family the best way you can. Make sure you self maintenance is key. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, keeping yourself healthy, sane, and happy. And I will see you guys soon. I'll catch you in the funny papers. That's my take. I'm James. This has been my take on reality, and I'm out. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side.